Thank you, Madam Chair. A couple questions here that I can start boiling down. One, to answer Representative Holtorf's question, there are people at Marijuana Enforcement Division that is tracking this right now, and they know the multiple variants being refined, and they can set up a testing process because of this bill. So if you want to be testing for these and looking out for these things, this would be a very good bill to vote for. Second, the question was asked, is this a new product or is this something that's always existed? A couple things with this. The hemp product, of course, has been around for as long as mankind has been around, but this is a new chemically altered product. So they're taking a hemp plant and chemically altering it, or perhaps washing it with certain things that can chemically bring out a new Delta strain that would never naturally exist in nature. One thing with the marijuana plant is it's a natural thing, and everything's derived from it is relatively of a natural source. This is not necessarily of a natural source. It's being literally chemically altered to create Delta 8 and Delta 9. We could get into Delta 8 and Delta 9 all day long. But it's not necessarily a new strain, it's a new technology, a new chemical process. As far as the marijuana tax revenue going towards this bill, I believe that's the first fiscal note. Here's a revised fiscal note. We're putting some money towards making sure the bad actors and the Attorney General has the ability to go after those bad actors that we already know about in the state of Colorado that are endangering our children specifically. And so there is some money. Where it comes from is a marijuana tax cash fund. Now, members, there's a lot of people that don't know. Everyone thinks, well, we passed Amendment 64, so why are we having trouble funding schools? There's actually a lot that goes into it. There's the 15% excise wholesale tax. That goes directly into the BEST program. That's about $121 million this past year. It seems like it's going to be billions of dollars, but that 15% excise tax is actually about $120 million a year. That goes directly to BEST. Now there's another 15%, and that's on the sale of the product. That's at the store. That produces actually more. That's about $290 million a year. 90% of that comes here to the state government. 10% goes to the local governments that are affected by the sales of marijuana in their communities. And then the state share is actually split into three ways. About 13% of it goes to the state public, that goes to all public schools. By the time it gets down to that point, it's about $33 million this year. 15.56 of it, about $40 million goes in the general fund. So we think, well, why isn't the general fund more when marijuana sales increase? One of the things that happens, like with sports gaming, we were very smart about that we put it towards one thing, we put it towards water projects. The marijuana money, while we are raising a tremendous amount of new taxes in the coffers of the government of Colorado, it's just being filtered out, as you can see here. But what's left over of that 90% share of that 15%, about 72% of it goes into the marijuana tax cash fund. Now that's the money that we're taking out for this bill. We're taking not about $650,000 out to make sure that the Attorney General has the resources necessary and the Marijuana Enforcement Division has the resources necessary in order to clamp down on the bad actors from the business perspective, and that's the Attorney General, and the legal side, and then the Marijuana Enforcement Division to take care of everything else. And of course the task force that is involved, so we can get rid of the bad actors right away now, and then longer term the task force can come up with a more thoughtful approach to how to regulate this product that we frankly just have never envisioned needing regulated before. That marijuana tax fund, $203 million went into it this year, so the 600, actually it's less than that, it's well under $600,000. That's not much compared to the $200 million that's being brought in from the taxpayers. So really we're funding this project based off of and funding the enforcement of all of this based on the use and the sales of marijuana here in the state of Colorado. So I hope that helps answer your question a bit, and I hope also the members of this body learned a bit more about how marijuana tax revenues are distributed. As you can see, it's very complicated. There's a lot of ins, a lot of outs, a lot of what have yous, and I hope that answers your question, Representative. Those were very good questions from all three members.